Something about this forest feels wrong. The pines don't grow straight. They twist into warped shapes. Spider webs hang crooked between the branches, their patterns broken and uneven. On the ground, red firebugs wander through dead needles, their black markings strangely distorted. Above it all, a bird cuts across the pale sky. Its wings beat like any other bird's, but wildlife biologists in this region have cataloged deformities in beaks, feathers, and eyes, small details that add up to a larger story. This is no ordinary woodland. It stands inside one of the most radioactive places on Earth, the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. Not far from here, in 1986, the world's worst nuclear power plant accident tore a hole in the night and reshaped life for every plant and animal that stayed behind. Northern Ukraine. In the aftermath of the explosion, a cloud of radioactive material drifted across fields, rivers, towns, and forests. One of the first casualties was a stand of pines near the plant. Their needles shifted from green to yellow, then to a deep, unnatural red. The trees died where they stood, and the place became known as the Red Forest. Radiation didn't stop with the trees. It seeped into soil and water, into moss, birds, insects, and the cells of every creature that remained. In the hottest zones, small mammals and birds succumbed to acute radiation sickness. Elsewhere, the effects crept slowly, mutations accumulating quietly inside DNA. Humans were ordered out. Villages emptied. Pripyat fell silent. An exclusion zone appeared on the map, guarded at the edges while homes, schools, and playgrounds were left to weather and ruin. But when people vanished, wildlife surged. Wolves roamed the empty streets. Elk and roe deer drifted between apartment blocks. Boar returned to abandoned orchards. Bears, lynx, moose, foxes, beavers, swallows, owls, frogs, insects, species after species reclaimed the land. Spring 1986. Reactor 4 erupts, releasing a plume of radioactive elements, iodine, cesium, strontium, over forests and rivers. Animals closest to the blast receive fatal doses as radiation tears through tissue and bone marrow. The nearest forest absorbs so much energy the pines die standing, turning the area into the Red Forest. Evacuations clear towns within hours. Humans leave, animals stay. Dogs scatter into empty streets. Some die quickly, others survive and reproduce. Over time, their descendants form isolated populations shaped by low-level radiation. Across the zone, early deaths fade, but the internal damage continues. Mutations begin to accumulate in birds, rodents, insects, and predators. The explosion was a moment in history. The mutations became the inheritance. Radiation's most lasting impact is on DNA. Ionizing particles snap strands or scramble base pairs. Cells attempt repairs, sometimes succeeding, sometimes leaving permanent mutations. In Chernobyl, those mutations show up across species. Barn swallows near contaminated areas display higher rates of deformities, twisted feathers, partial albinism, tumors, and malformed beaks. Their survival and reproduction decline with rising radiation. Many bird species develop cataracts far more frequently than normal, clouded lenses that weaken vision and reduce lifespan. In insects, the damage appears in symmetry. Firebugs collected in the zone often have distorted, uneven patterns. Surveys show fewer insects and more abnormalities in the most contaminated sites. These changes are not dramatic mutations from fiction. They are precise, measurable scars left by radiation on living tissue. Most mutations weaken organisms. Many have no visible effect at all. Only a rare few may offer an advantage. In Chernobyl, researchers see signs of damage alongside early hints of potential adaptation shaped by decades of radiation exposure and environmental isolation. Tree frogs in the zone often appear unusually dark. Melanin, the pigment responsible, can help mitigate oxidative stress caused by radiation. The darkest frogs cluster in areas once heavily contaminated, suggesting a possible past selection event during the most intense early years. Melanized fungi thrive even inside highly irradiated structures. In laboratory tests, some grow faster under radiation, using melanin in a process similar to energy capture. These species may not merely endure radiation, they may exploit it. Wolves exposed to chronic radiation show genetic changes in regions linked to immunity and cancer resistance. The research continues, but the patterns hint at biological shifts driven by long-term exposure. Some findings remain debated, but the zone now contains traits seldom seen in non-radiated populations, evolutionary threads emerging under constant pressure. Over decades, the exclusion zone has become an unintentional experiment in evolution. Multiple generations of animals have now lived and died entirely within a radioactive landscape, their biology shaped by cellular damage, survival pressures, and inherited genetic change. For some species, the cost is visible: reduced fertility, shorter lifespans, higher disease rates. In others, populations appear stable despite the contamination. And in a few cases, researchers observe traits that suggest resilience, features that may help organisms cope with constant environmental stress. Every birth here carries uncertainty. DNA damage may be repaired, passed on, or subtly altered. Natural selection works quietly, filtering which mutations persist and which disappear. Over time, these small genetic shifts accumulate, reshaping populations in ways that are difficult to predict and still unfolding. Chernobyl is not simply contaminated land. It is a living archive of mutation in motion, a place where evolution continues under conditions found almost nowhere else on Earth, rewriting life one generation at a time. Chernobyl is not a story of nature healing from radiation. It is the story of life rearranging itself around a permanent wound. Some animals here carry scars in their eyes, feathers, and genes. Others show hints of resilience born from relentless pressure. All of them are part of a living archive of what happens when technology fails and the fallout never fully leaves. The animals of Chernobyl don't offer easy comfort. They offer something more demanding: a clear view of the cost of our mistakes, and a reminder that life will go on, with or without us, and not always in ways we expect. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss the next story. Thanks for watching.